Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a greetings friends and fans. In today's video I bring a lot of updates, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Desolating, the only term I can use to characterize the news and the loss the team suffer by being eliminated with a last-second shot, with the score ending 114-111 due to a player who shined. Now the team faces only 2 remaining games in the 2025 regular season, and the margins in the Western Conference are extremely tight. They cannot afford to lose that game in San Antonio to stay in the playoff race. The situation is clear, as they are back in the hunt, currently sitting in 7th place in the Western Conference after the events of April 9th. If you want to check the current playoff situation, we have that available. The team is no longer facing opponents like the Lakers, Nuggets, or Clippers, but rather the Timberwolves in a do-or-die game. If they lose, they will face the Kings or Mavericks. Now is their confidence in a matchup against one of those 2 teams? Yes, however, it's a winner-go-home game, and if the shots aren't falling, it turns into a true roulette. This is a league where everything boils down to making or missing. If you're off on the night, your chances are compromised. And on top of that, it's overtime basketball that the team didn't need. They can't afford to lose this game. It's unacceptable to be careless with the ball in hand. It's unacceptable to commit turnovers in critical moments. They can't be slow in rotations or defensive coverages against a team in San Antonio that has players ready to shoot. The performance wasn't the best. In fact, it was a tale of 4 quarters, starting with dominance in the first, opening up a 9-point lead by the end of the period, but by halftime they were already trailing by 4. Then they completely reversed the situation, opening up a 12-point lead in the 4th quarter, only to see the game slip away in the final second. The team showed its strength early, establishing a 9-point advantage at the end of the 1st quarter. However, by halftime, they found themselves 4 points behind. In an impressive turnaround, they regained the lead and entered the final quarter with a 12-point advantage, only to lose the game on the final shot. This result is completely unacceptable. In a post-game press conference, the standout player reflected on the loss, acknowledging the importance of that game and the consequences of returning to the play-in tournament. Despite knowing what was at stake, the team couldn't secure the win. He emphasized that the key now lies in how the team will react, pointing out that strong teams often rise to the occasion in moments like these. However, time is running out this NBA season, with only 2 games left on the schedule. 3 playoff spots have already been secured. The opponents are doing well, continuing to win their games, while one team recently made a coaching change in response to the need for more victories, which they achieved against another team. Another team also secured a victory, and now another has passed them in the standings, as the team has accumulated 1 more loss. The Timberwolves are about to face the Grizzlies in a crucial showdown that all fans of the team should keep a close eye on. If Minnesota can win, it could bring them back to the 6th spot. However, they now need help from other teams, as they no longer have control over their own fate. This is what everyone was hoping for. With just 3 games left, if they had won all their games, they would have avoided the play-in tournament. Now they must rely on favorable results from other games and face a rival in a challenging game, considering their historical struggles against this team. Additionally, they will face another team that has shown progress in recent performances, with a player making significant contributions. There is much to analyze about this situation. In the end, the performance of 2 players stood out in this game, with one of them truly shining. The matchup could be quite straightforward, and on Friday the opponent will be the Trailblazers, who have been showing improvements in their recent performance. There's much to evaluate about this showdown. In the end, both Curry and Butler stood out immensely in this game. Steph was practically the only bright spot for Golden State, scoring 30 points. Jimmy also had a remarkable performance, frequently getting to the free throw line. Acknowledging his effort, he finished with 28 points on just 8 attempts, with a 5 of 8 shooting percentage, which is impressive. Additionally, he converted both of his 3-point attempts. In this way, both Jimmy and Steph shined, and the veterans aware of the importance of the game truly showed up while the rest of the supporting cast failed to contribute significantly with decisions on the floor that were lacking as no one could make three-point shots efficiently. Soon we will dive deeper into the analysis of these performances. If the fans want the Warriors to avoid the play-in tournament, it's crucial to show support and participation. The team is clearly not meeting the expected level. Let's reflect more on this loss and which players didn't step up for Golden State, as well as what will be needed for them to evolve in the future. However, before that, it's worth mentioning something that can make life easier for sports fans. It's a fantasy sports platform that simplifies betting, allowing the selection of a variety of sports like basketball, baseball, hockey, and more. Through it, you can combine different sports in one bet, choosing more or less based on projected statistics. It's an accessible approach to potentially earning some profit with great incentives for new users. If you're interested in how it works, I can share an example of one of my bets. It's easier for everyone to get a financial return with the good offers available. For example, by signing up, you can receive a $50 credit in your account. If you're interested in an example of a bet I made, one that if it were a flex play would have looked quite promising. However, I chose Brandon Pacheco for more than 6 3-point attempts, and he didn't hit that mark. Jonathan Kuminga was selected for more than 5 successful field goals, and he fulfilled that. As for Harrison Barnes, I opted for more than 13 points, and he actually hit the basket in the last second to seal the win, clearly surpassing the 13-point mark. You can choose to follow my picks or not. Just make sure you place your bets responsibly. It's important to take advantage of the opportunity. Revisiting Golden State's performance, it's clear they face considerable struggles in their shooting this time, with a shooting percentage of only 38% on three-point attempts, which wasn't enough to secure the win. The situation they find themselves in after the loss to the Spurs cannot be ignored. The Spurs showed impressive intensity, playing with great determination. Nearly all the starters contributed 20 points, and players like Castle, Cal Johnson, Harrison Barnes, and Dion Vell had a significant impact. Furthermore, they outshot Golden State from long range. The game was extremely close, and it didn't need to unfold this way. Some players from Golden State didn't stand out when it mattered most. For example, where was that player who has been exceptional in the last games? His performance was disappointing as he couldn't convert his shots. With a 3 of 11 shooting record, 1 of 5 from the three-point line, it's crucial that he improves his performance if he wants to be a solid scoring option. He's already shown that he can stand out, having recently maintained a 50% shooting rate from long range. Unfortunately, he couldn't find his way back to the basket with 3 of 11 shooting and 1 of 5 from three-point range. This performance won't be enough if he relies on it as the team's second scoring option. We need him to make more baskets. Even with an impressive performance hitting 50% from three-point range in the last 10 games, we need to see more consistency, as he's the player expected to make a significant contribution as the playoffs approach. Kuminga had a fair performance, but his impact on the floor was negative. It's important to highlight that when the key player wasn't on the floor, the team suffered a -6 in the plus-minus. This is unacceptable. It cannot happen. This is the type of pattern that could solidify if they continue to lose games, as in the end he's the key element of the team. All the success of this team is thanks to number 30, who keeps the team running. He manages to make three-pointers frequently, penetrate the opposing defense, has been going to the free throw line often, and has also been great in rebounds. He's doing everything he can for this team, which hasn't been consistently matching those efforts. However, this is the reality. Only 2 games remain. Only 2 games. One of the players almost achieved a triple-double with a good performance, but it wasn't enough. In the end, it wasn't enough. Another player had an average performance with 4 of 10 from 3, which is a good result, but not enough. One player continues to struggle with long-range shots, while another also didn't have a good performance, registering 3 of 11, 1 of 7 from 3. Despite his good performance and rebounds and solid defense, it's essential that he makes more shots, as we need more options besides player number 30, and another who shows up Sporadically, they simply didn't get the job done in today's game. Now they await results from other teams that could help them move out of the play-in tournament zone. They lost control of their own fate, and it's disheartening to watch. It's truly disheartening to see the team is struggling to execute shots and is now waiting for favorable results from other teams that could allow them to return to the play-in tournament. At this point, they've lost control over their own future, which is discouraging. What can change in the last two games is uncertain.